if I recall correctly, these are the last chapters of these mangas we will get this year, right? We won't get a new one next week. Which, by the way, after so much long wait, then you have to make us wait even longer? Sorry about that. Well, you know what they say? Impatient people are always impatient. But what a way to end the year. What a way to end the year from Fairy Tale Chapter 515. Hi, for those who are watching, people are already calling this the best chapter of the year. Do I agree? No. Why don't I agree? Because, well, unlike them, I will not embrace a despair chapter as the best chapter of the year. Does it mean it's bad? Hell no. Either way, Eileen finishes her background story and it turns out that everything is a weird one. It's nothing like we suspected. First of all, we finally meet Ersa's father, who turns out to have been a human. Also, this is actually pretty weird, but Ersa's father just looks exactly like Arasawa from My Hero Academia. Not that I have ever been one to criticize Hiro Mashima. I mean, he has been criticized by many people for saying that he has no originality in his drawing, which, by the way, I defend because there is no such thing as originality nowadays. However, even I have to say that was a little bit too obvious. Either way, they were married in a political marriage. It turns out Belsirion was not the one who fathered her child, and they lost Belsirion during a war when Acnologia made his appearance. Because, well, he slayed a lot of dragons and humans. Acnologia, you need to freaking die one day. However, when Eeileen was slowly turning into a dragon, Elsa's father, which was nameless by the way, turned on her. The reason was because he did not trust dragons anymore. Moreover, for the fact because Acnologia, So he captured her, tortured her, humiliated her, and a lot of things more. And he even refused to believe that Irene was pregnant with a child. So in the end, I have never liked Eileen, but I have to say this tragic past is is very righteous. Now it's very clear on why she has such low empathy for others' sufferings. She was doing through this while still pregnant for 3 years. Why didn't she give birth? Well, I think she used magic to prevent her from giving birth. And finally, 3 years later, um, the father decided to kill Irene right there and there. It's then that Irene's transformation finally happened and she turned into a dragon. A scarlet-looking dragon with flowers. In a blind rage, she killed everyone from that city and flew away, although still saying she was human. But even though she was now a fully dragon, Ersa was still pregnant in her womb, which means she was pregnant for 400 years. That is a little bit strange, but I'll take it. I'll gladly take that. And the one who found her 400 years later was none other than Sereth, who used his magic to turn her back into a human per se. He gave her a human-looking body, but she was not turned into a human. Something almost like an illusion, so to speak. It's a physique, though. She was no longer human, and it was clear on why later. I don't know. Actually, this is something I have a very hard time understanding, but I'll still keep this as something into my mind anyway. Something like, even though, well, not, even though her physique was human, she could not have any taste and she couldn't even sleep. What I mean is, what? Do you mean to tell me that the dragon do not need to sleep, nor do they need to eat? So I have had a little hard time understanding why was it that even though she had a physique of looking like a human, she could no longer. Is it because she could no longer taste and sleep because she was still a dragon? Or was it just because even though Seraph gave her back her human looking body, it was a side effect of that? Hmm. I have no idea. Of course, uh, that was the final straw. Having endured so much torture and then being a dragon for 400 years and while getting a human looking body back, still was still didn't give her uh, what she wanted. Eileen's mind finally snapped as because she only wanted to give birth to a human child, and it was then she finally snapped for the last time. And that is why she's saying, "You are me, I am you." Because inside of her body was a human child. Even though a lot of people have actually wanted Ersa to be, a dragon girl. Because after all, if Ersa was a dragon, I mean a human girl with dragon blood, that would actually make a lot of sense on why Ersa is so tough. Inside of Eileen's belly has been a human. I have no idea how she could be pregnant for 400 years, but I guess time must have stand still inside of her body when she turned into a dragon. I mean, it makes sense to me. So she decided to enchant herself into this child in the best way of hoping to get a new body and a body into it. A new body, a new life, and a new her. That is why she says, "You, I am you, you are me." However, she failed. And that is why she dumped her. And I think that is why she has a scar across, her chest. She cut open her child herself when she was only doing that. Does that mean Elsa was born prematurely, or was she very near her birth? No idea. This, my friends, or at least for those who are watching, is the perfect example on why Eileen is so insane. I mean, we all know why Seraph was insane. 400 years of nothing but pain and suffering would snap anybody's mind and it would destroy anybody's world. I mean, I would definitely do it. I greatly sympathize with Seraph why he wanted to destroy the world. In fact, I have seen so many horrible things in media, so I can understand why some people want to destroy the world. And now I can also sympathize with Irene on why she's so empathetic against everybody's feeling. Being tortured for 3 years, have been pregnant for 400 years, and then being a dragon for 400 years, and when turned back into a human looking body, not can be able to sleep nor eat, would drive anyone insane. She masked that perfectly. So that is the truth of Ersa's birth. But although Wendy is shocked, Ersa just seemingly just takes that with a grain of salt, saying, "I'm grateful for giving you birth." Because she's thankful that Eileen gave birth to her and abandoned her, because that way she could meet her own family. As she dons a seemingly new armor with rabbit-like ears, she prepares to once again fight Irene. So can you finally end her suffering? If you ask me, I think Irene should die. Why do I think that? Well, yes, because I feel that it will be mercy. She has suffered too much for 400 years So just kill her so she won't have to suffer anymore. And Elsa, my girl Elsa, thank you for not breaking from that truth. She acknowledges that her own real family is fairy tale. So please, no civil war. A lot of people suspect that, but no civil war. Please, no civil war. In fairy tale, I want them to be united forever. Although now they're gonna fight again. And so, next chapter, which we will get in next year, I presume, is called The Truth About Enchantments. So, what does that mean? Are we now gonna hear another side story from Eeileen? Either way, even though Ersa dons a new armor, I still don't know if she can defeat Eeileen. After all, Eeileen has now revealed to have dragon-like abilities. I mean, dragon-like strength and durability. So, unless Ersa herself becomes a dragon slayer, I see no way she can defeat Eeileen. And Wendy, although a child prodigy, isn't she? I don't think she has the power. Maybe she needs to eat an element of another dragon and become a dual dragon slayer, and then together Ersa and Wendy can defeat her. Either way, I stand where I said I feel sympathy towards Irene. However, that doesn't mean that I will that I want Irene to win. No, all her sympathizing will not justify what she has done. So give me your thoughts if you have any.